Welcome back, everybody, to Investor News. I'm Peter Clausi. Today, we're back with Nano One, trading on the TSX Big Board. Hi, Dan. How are you?
I'm great, Peter. Fantastic to be here. Thank you.
Dan Blondal, CEO. And look at all the shiny material behind you. This is your lab, right?
That's actually, this is a spray dryer. So when the material comes out of the one pot, which you can kind of see over here if the camera moves a little bit, that's kind of a reactor that we use in the lab for sort of bench scale reactors up to kilograms of material. It then gets fed into a spray dryer where it's dried into a powder before it's put into a furnace, which we'll see right over here.
And when you say material, what kind of material is going into the one pot?
So the one pot reactor is where we mix lithium and nickel and manganese and cobalt, or lithium and iron and phosphorus to make the cathode material. So everything goes into the one pot reactor to create basically a slurry of all the ingredients that make up a cathode material. Then we dry that slurry into a dried powder and then cook it in the furnace. It's in the furnace where the final crystals form that enable the material to become functional in a lithium-ion battery.
All right. So you're basically standing in a kitchen for lithium-ion batteries.
Yeah, essentially. This is our laboratory in Burnaby. We have much larger versions of the things I just showed you in our Candiac facility just outside of Montreal, roughly 150 times the size of what you see here.
So it's always nice that you believe in it and I believe in it. But today you announced a press release with a major company that also believes in your technology, and that is Worley. Worley trades on the Australian Stock Exchange and is a massive engineering company. What did you agree with them?
So Worley and Nano One have got to know each other over the last couple of years, and we basically have the same philosophy that we cannot scale cathode materials worldwide without fixing some of the fundamental issues. Of course, you got to drive down costs, and that's the key and most important part of this. But we also have to eliminate all the wastewater and eliminate all the sulfate waste streams and the byproducts, because these don't scale readily at very large volumes. They worked fine and did in the 90s and the early 2000s when volumes were relatively small. But as we get into hundreds of thousands and millions and tens of millions of tons, these side effects become just too much for the West to handle. So really, to be able to scale in North America, to be able to scale in Europe or even in many parts of Asia, you have to solve these problems. And so Worley and Nano One came together on the belief that we could make cathode materials more effectively, and we could also solve the scaling problem, which is once you've done this, once you've brought the technology to the table, you have to be able to deploy it, and to deploy it rapidly. And in many plants all at once around the world, you need a big engineering plan. You need to have done all the engineering work up front, so you're not custom engineering every plant. You basically got a kernel of engineering that's already done. It's what we call our CAM package, and that includes the Nano One process that you've just seen on video here. But it also includes the flow sheets and the engineering design package and all the process flow diagrams and key pieces of equipment, and that forms really the kernel of the one pot process. And what we're doing with Worley, developing that, marketing it, selling the CAM package to potential producers of cathode materials.
And it's Worley that's doing the selling. It's Worley that's doing the selling for you under this agreement, right?
Primarily, it's a collaborative effort, all of it. Of course, they have a much bigger sales team than we do. We bring potential clients to the table, so do they. We're really combining our efforts on all fronts. But they have a much bigger sales team, and they have a much bigger outreach around the world as well. So, a big part of this is, look, together we can do this much faster. We can sell more licenses together, much more than Nano One can on its own. And that's the dream here, is that 1 + 1 = 3, essentially. We can do a much better job together than we can on our own.
For a science shop, Dan, your math is kind of poor, but I understand what you're saying. Now, you hold Nano One holds numerous patents. You've been in this business a very long time, right?
Yes. Myself, I've been at it for a dozen years, but my team in Quebec, led by Denis Geoffroy, have been doing this since 2002. They made the first ton of a sellable LFP in 2005. and then went on to build the first one of the very first LFP cathode plants. They changed technologies after being acquired in 2000 kind of 8, 9, 10, 11 timeframe. And then with Nano One coming in, we changed technology again. These guys have commercialized. This is their third technology that they've commercialized, scaled, and brought up to a manufacturing standard. And when we walked in there, we were able to decommission all the wastewater and all the sulfate waste handling chemical equipment, because we don't have any of that problem, and it makes the footprint much more compact, use less energy, and of course lower capex and operating costs as well. So that's really what is driving the underlying value of the Nano One pot process, and what brought Worley to the table. Obviously, combining their engineering know-how with our technology, we think we can bring a superior solution to the market that will drive considerably faster adoption than doing it in a kind of a manual, bespoke fashion with more custom engineering practices.
Any collaboration has an impact on the balance sheet at first, because it drains some resources that you're directing towards the collaboration, but then it comes back into the P&L. When do you think this will have an impact on your P&L?
It's a great question. So yes, we're both obviously investing in the collaboration, in the alliance. Worley putting a bunch of engineering time in. We of course have invested tremendously up front, but we will continue to invest in the process going into this collaboration. The concept, of course, is that we end up selling licenses and multiple plants. It will take it will be measured in the matter of 6 months, a year, until we have the engineering design package together. And of course, in parallel to that, Nano One is also going out and testing and evaluating the materials and trying to bring the offtake in that will then drive the adoption of the technology and drive investment decisions to build a plant, which then will be able to monetize with Worley in the first plant, and then ultimately in many more plants, hopefully in parallel and such moving forward. Can't give you an exact time when that's going to happen, but we hope within the next year or so to have the engineering design package in place, and we're working hard to get the offtake in place this year that will drive expansion and
Nano One's
and licensing of these technology. Yeah,
Nano One's always been an interesting company. It currently is an interesting company, and no doubt it will continue to be an interesting company going forward. I thank you for your time today. Trades as NANO on the big board, TMX, right? They like to call it these days.
Yes.
Yeah, the TMX. Dan Blondal, CEO, thank you very much for your time, sir.
Peter, it's a big pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for your attention, and best day to you.
Investor News, Peter Clausi signing off. Have a great day.